Mr. Taubman, I'm thankful to live in and represent Virginia, a right-to-work state, where employees thankfully cannot be forced to pay union dues. I certainly didn't choose to pay any union dues when I was working in a unionized auto factory during my college time. And God forbid that we should ever have realized into law the Democrats' dream of this PRO Act, which essentially says to every employer across the country, embrace a union or close your doors. Two options that would result from that. But you've noted, as incredible as this is today, that under federal law, Jewish workers who live in non-right-to-work states, who suffer in non-right-to-work states, can be forced to pay union dues that express pay dues to a union, that expresses hateful anti-Semitic rhetoric or views. And you noted, but I'll just ask you again, can you say any other aspect of American life where an individual is forced to fund a private entity that expresses speech that they find hateful, threatening, or objectionable?
Thankfully, I know of no other example.
Let's hope that this becomes the isolated example that we have to fight versus some occurring more broadly in our society. Ms. Koopmar, it seems that the terribly offensive ceasefire resolution that you've described, that was 3 days after the October 7 brutal attack, never mentions the Hamas terrorists and was ultimately adopted by the union. But that was really a continuation, wasn't it, and an escalation of the union having allowed anti-Semitism to fester under the surface for months, wasn't it?
Yes, that is true.
Can you talk about that, how it had been allowed just to continue prior to that resolution?
Yes, actually prior to the ALAA's resolution, there were 2 additional resolutions that had been introduced by other ALAA chapters, namely the Bronx Defenders as well as CAMDA chapters. Those particular resolutions were also very anti-Semitic. The Bronx Defenders resolution actually was advocating, or at least it advocated for the Hamas violence against Israel. And so there was this hostile work environment that had already been fomented by these other chapters. There had been inter-office emails that were at legal aid in the city where people were questioning whether or not Jewish attorneys can actually represent our clients. And so there had been this sort of like this turmoil that had been going on that fomented itself with this resolution that was introduced in November.
Yeah, you referenced in your testimony verbally and your written testimony about some of these terrible, hateful, offensive messaging through the gaggle, the internal message board of ALA. Things, as you referenced, and you said that we were called fascist genociders, genocide deniers, snitches, and Zionist goals. We were told to go kill ourselves. The slogan "From the river to the sea" was routinely used, and so forth. In light of this, did ALAA leadership ever intervene or condemn these messages or even call for some semblance of civility in the face of what the Jewish members, who they purport to represent, were having to suffer through?
Never. They never stopped the bullying. They never called anyone out to stop the bullying and to stop the vitriol. And in fact, they doubled down by after that one joint council meeting that we had where we introduced the release the hostage resolution. That very next day, a paid ALA staffer actually blamed the Zionist minority for all of the issues that it was having. They blamed us. And so they actually have been promoting this. They've actually been dividing the membership. They've been fostering the hostile work environment. So no, they've done nothing to tamp it down, and it's only been getting worse.
Everyone should be concerned about the unique, horrific situation in the world and in the country today, where when Israel can be horrifically attacked, is blamed for an attack, and when Jews are discriminated against, harassed, intimidated, threatened, and harmed, Jews are blamed for that. That is unique. and it should be condemned unequivocally across the country, and everyone should be concerned about that.